Good morning. So today we're doing our video outside. And part of it is because I kind of wanted some of the examples that are out here. The topic is help it grow. So I've noticed that one of the things that we have a problem with is helping ourselves grow in a way that is positive. So think about a plant. So when you're growing a plant, you can tell when it's doing good and you can tell when it's not doing so good. And it's usually by it looks, if it starts to dry out, maybe it's not getting enough water, if it starts to blacken, if it starts to... You can kind of tell usually most of the time when it's starting to die. And you start to try different things. You're like, okay, well, let's try more water. If it doesn't change it, try more sun, try less sun. Try putting it outside, try putting it inside. And you start doing all of these lists of things to figure out how your plant is going to live. And what's really interesting is it's not always what you want. So let me give you an example. This little ivy was inside. So when we got it, I wanted to put it inside. I had it inside. It used to have leaves everywhere, and we put it right by the windows to make sure it got enough sun. It even says, I want to say this one's a medium light. Yeah, so it says it's a medium light. So I was like, okay, so it should be fine there. And we got another plant that had the same thing, medium light, and we put them right next to each other, and it started to die. And I was looking at the other plant, and it was doing fine. In fact, it was growing, but this plant was dying. And you can kind of see some of the sticks here that are drying out and aren't doing so well. And finally I said, okay, I don't think it's doing well there. So I moved it away from the windowsill. I moved it onto the table, and it still wasn't doing okay. I moved it to a counter. It still wasn't doing okay. Finally, I just decided, you know what, if it's going to die, I'm going to leave it outside. So I put it outside, and lo and behold, you can kind of see, if you put it real close, all of these little baby leaves that are starting to grow back. So it turns out this plant just wanted to be outside. And sometimes people are like that. Sometimes we're not doing okay. Sometimes it's a hard morning for us, or we're in a routine that worked for somebody else, and we're struggling and chugging along trying to get it to work, and we're not doing okay. And we're not doing okay, and we're like, no, but this is what we want, so we add another thing to it, and we add another thing to it, and we just don't do okay with that. And then something gives. You say, you know what? Let's try something else. And surprise, you start to feel better. You start to do better. You start to notice some improvements, and you're happier. All plants are a little different. Even if, you all come from similar backgrounds, similar instructions, like medium light, that doesn't mean you're going to like the same things. It doesn't mean you're going to react to the same things the same way. It doesn't mean that what worked for me out, what's going to be our sweet spot. We have a lot of different plants here, and looking at all of them and figuring out where they like to be and where they like to sit is a lot of fun for us. And probably more me than anything else, but watching all of these plants grow and flourish, and sometimes even surprise us. We have a calla lily that wasn't supposed to bloom anymore, so we were going to let it dry out, and then somehow it's got some leaves sprouting up again, and it looks like it's going to go a second round. You never know what you're capable of. Sometimes you just need to go to root for a little bit, and you're just resting, and you're getting yourself back together, and you're back up again. Don't be so hard on yourself. If I'd have just been stubborn and put my foot down and said, no, this plant is going to be inside, and I'm going to make sure it stays inside, it might have died, and then I would have been left with an empty pot. Things don't always go according to your plan. Sometimes they go according to somebody else's plans, or things just happen. We got this plant, and it was indoor plant. We bought it inside a store, but when we got it inside our house, it wasn't happy. Not every place is the same. Not every environment is the same. And you have to learn to go with the flow. My husband's not a morning person, so if you get him up really early in the morning, it takes him a lot longer to get up, to feel better, and to get going. So why would I force him to get up early on his days off and expect him to be in a good mood? And the same goes for a lot of different things. Work environments. Maybe this work environment, everybody says it's great and it's doing amazing and you're enjoying it. Or maybe you're not. Maybe everyone else seems to be having a good time, but it's just not working out for you. It might not be a big deal. Maybe it's you just need a change in routine. Maybe you like a different environment. Say something or do something about it. Maybe you just want, I don't know, colorful drapes in an office that you're working in, or you want to be able to put pictures up. Talk, if you need permission, talk to whoever you need permission from. If you're just need to get around to doing it, try it, because you never know. And even though everybody else seems to be okay with it, you might not be, and it's not your fault. It just means you're different. So this is a little bit of a short video, but I think I got my point across. Instead of fighting what's going to help you grow, jump in full feet, both feet, and do it. And if you're not sure what that's going to look like, try different things. I can't read this plant's mind or ask it what it wants, but I can try different things and see what works. Thanks for listening.